next question that we should always ask is, so what is the very word Purusha Shukta actually means? Yeah. So I'm going to ask some of you to contribute there. So do any of you have any ideas as to what Purusha means, what Sukta means?
Purusha means it's just a cosmic being, all-encompassing being.
Okay, thank you, Sridhar. Yeah. Anybody else?
Generally means man, isn't it?
Generally means man. In Tamil, Purushan means husband. Yes, man.
Yeah, man. And I think if you say like, Purusha is, maybe in this context, it means Brahman as well.
Vishnu, isn't it? Purusha means... Hello. Purusha.
Yeah.
Purusha has many meanings.
Vishwarupa, I think.
Yeah. Purusha could be
okay, yes.
male or female. It's equal. Pura means which has reached the full evolution, top of the evolution, and also of course Vishnu and Narayana.
Okay. Thank you. So there quite a lot of
became more of a. Sorry, I thought Purusha became more of an abstract concept rather than referring to a person or Vishnu. I may be wrong on that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for all the contributions, because you have captured lots of ideas already, which I was planning to illustrate. So now, just going back to the word Purusha. So as I said, Sanskrit, particularly Vedic Sanskrit, is through and through etymological. So every word in Sanskrit, as I've said before, it should be broken down. It should be split, opened up, and then you see the meanings of those words, very similar to the Kabbalah interpretations in Jewish tradition or Christian tradition. You should open those and then have a look at what the meaning is. So the word Purusha basically comes from the etymological origins of Purushas are very many. And here I've listed I think I've listed 9. There are more to it. So first one is Purvameva Aham. Purvameva Aham means the one that was there before creation. Okay, he is called Purusha. Pura Asa becomes Purusha. Okay, Purishete. This is important. Purishete means, what is Puri? When I say Puri means what? Puri means a place. Yeah, in India there are lots of towns with Puram, Kanji Puram. Yeah, that comes from the Puri word. Puram means a place. Puri means a place. Shete means he who is inside a place. So this body is a place. Who is inside this body? There is a first entity who is inside this body, who is called Jiva. So Jiva is called Kshara Purusha, if you remember chapter 15 of Gita. Who is inside the Jiva? The Supreme Being himself. So that which is inside the Jiva is also called Purusha. So he is also called Purushete. So in the highest sense, the one that is inside the Jiva and that which is inside the whole of creation is Purusha. So Purushete. Then you have Puru Saha. Saha Purush. Saha Puru means the one that has infinite qualities and attributes. Puru Syati. Syati means Nasha. Yeah? Destruction. So the one that destroys the universe, which is a Pura, which is a place, and it destroys the universe. So this is one of the definitions of the Supreme. So that is why he's also called Purusha. Puru Sanoti. Sanoti means he who gives the Purusharthas. What are the 4 Purusharthas for us? Anybody wants to contribute there, please? Purusharthas. What are the 4 Purusharthas?
Karma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Correct. So who gives us all these 4? That guy is Purusha. Then you can split Purusha into Pu, Ru, and Sha. Pu means it indicates Pavitra. Ru means Rautiti to Ruhu. That means he gave Vedas to Chaturmukha Brahma. Then Shah means he is the one who's inside all the beings and controls them. Now Purusha Vidatvat Purushaha means the one that needs to be known for our salvation. Then you have the last one called Purna Shadgunatvat Purushaha, which means that he who has infinite auspicious attributes is called Purushaha. So these 9 ways of etymology of Purusha just gives you an idea of what is the Vedas actually telling us when we use the word Purusha. Now, Sudarshan mentioned a concept of Purusha as a male. Now, the original Sanskrit, Purusha never meant a male or a female. It is somebody who is in a place, a Jiva in a place. So that jiva can be in different bodies. So all the jivas were called Purusha. There is no male or female Purushas. So there is no male, or Purusha does not mean a male. Yeah. Jivas, that is different. Whether there is male jivas and female jivas, that is entirely different discussion. But Purusha does not mean a male in original Sanskrit. Down the years, somehow that Purusha has become Purushan, has become a husband. Yeah. So that is one meaning. But Purusha actually means the supreme, anybody who is inside a body. But it is the supreme who is inside all bodies. We are inside only one body, but that guy is inside all the bodies. So he's called Purusha. Sukta means, let's keep it simple for lack of time. Sukta means that which celebrates, or a hymn that praises the Purusha is called Purusha, is called Sukta. So now we understand the Purusha Sukta means that collection of rigs that praise this Purusha is called Purusha Sukta. So if you move to the next slide, now the word Purusha also comes in the Upanishads. It comes in the Upanishads quite a lot. Say for in Prashna Upanishad, it says, Etasma Jivaganat Paratparam Purusham Purishayam Purusham Ikshate. So this is interesting. Purishayam Purusham Ikshate. That means this Jiva who is also called Purusha, he has to see the Purusha who is inside him. So that is it. That is our aim. So that's what Prashna Upanishad says. Purishayam Purusham Ikshate. Isha Upanishad say, Ya asau asau Purushaha so ahamasmi. Yeah. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also brings Upanishad, it talks about Purusha quite a lot. Here is Anunarayana Upanishad and Shatapada Brahmana, which actually gives you a definition who it is. Om Ata Purusho Havai Narayanaha Akamayat Prajas Rajayeti. Anunarayana Upanishad gives a definition. Who is this Purusha? Ata Purusho Havai Narayanaha. Purusha of the Vedas is Narayana only. Is Anunarayana Upanishad's conclusion, and the same is the conclusion of Shatapatha Brahmanam of Shukla Yajurveda. It says Purushoha Narayano Akamayati. It's very similar to Anunarayana Upanishad. So these Upanishads are telling us that this Purusha is Narayana himself. Yeah, and in Katha Upanishad, the Purusha comes in various verses. You know, we have touched upon this before. And in lack of time, I don't want to go into this, but the Upanishad then says, Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. So that Purusha is that Vishnu himself, who is the supreme, whose abode that we should seek to reach. Yeah. So that is the various Purusha word that comes in Upanishads. Watch that next time when you read Upanishads, you will see these Purusha words used quite often. Moving on to the next slide. Now, I think I'm not going to have time. I think maybe I'll spend another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then we'll close and continue the next week. Now, here is another slide, which actually then gives you an idea. Brahman that we discussed is celebrated as Purusha in the Vedas, and that Purusha is Narayana, who is Vishnu himself. Now, the reason why this conclusion is important because, as I said, you should look at the words in Sanskrit and etymologically split it open. And I've told this before to all of us here and other places. This is word Narayana, Vishnu, these are all not sectarian words at all. These are not sectarian words. These are words that give us an idea of the quality of the person who has that name. It just gives us those attributes of that person. So if you take Brahman, it comes from the root word called brih. Brih means brihantohi asmin gunaha, which means that which has pervaded. Where has it pervaded? It has pervaded in time, it has pervaded in space, and it has pervaded in gunas. That one that is pervaded, infinite pervasion in time, always exists. Infinite pervasion in space, it exists elsewhere. Infinite pervasion in guna means it's got infinite attributes. That is called Brahman. If you look at Purusha, I told you about Purusha as Purna Shat Gunatvat. The one that has infinite attributes is Purusha. Now, if you take the word Narayana, that is also very interesting. We can split Narayana in so many ways, but I'm just going to take two. One is Nara and Ayana. Nara means water. Ayana means he who is on the cosmic waters in Pralaya. That is Narayana. Very easy. Now, Ara means defects. Na Ara means no defects. So he is the abode of no defects, which means what? No doshas. And the opposite of that is what? He's got all the gunas. So again, Narayana also means that being who's got all the gunas. If you go to Vishnu, for example, the word Vishnu comes from the root called Vishal Vyapta. Vishal Vyapta means that which is pervaded everywhere. Vish means to pervade, to enter, to occupy. So this guy has pervaded everywhere. Now, if you look at Vishnu, Vishnu, Aitareya Aranika gives a definition. Shakaro balam, nakaro prana atma. V is vilakshana, vishishtata, so extraordinary. So this is an extraordinary being who is inside everything and motivates everything. Yeah. So these are all some of the meanings of Narayana, Vishnu, Purusha, and Brahman. So the conclusion there is Purusha Shukta is actually Vishnu Shukta. It is actually the celebration of the Supreme Lord called, who goes by the name. He's got infinite names. One of the names is Vishnu, which implies that which has pervaded everywhere. Yeah. So Purusha Shukta is Vishnu Shukta. So that was my intention of putting this slide.
HinduKnowledgeAcademy.com will celebrate Vedic culture and present its philosophies to the modern Hindu in an accessible format. Our ancient heritage is our greatest strength. Through preservation and dissemination, together let us spread positivity in the world. Thank you for listening and welcome to Hindu Knowledge Academy.